Well, right, not always. You need to do well in Northern Virginia.
Next map, I think, is more or less the same thing. Go ahead.
Sure, this is a similar map. What we see here is we actually kept, or this is from Larry Sabato, they kept the state, but they drew the counties relative to voter proportion. So you see
Fairfax behemoth.
Fairfax is just the prize. You have to do well in Fairfax if you're going to. And George Bush only lost Fairfax by a couple points to Kerry, and obviously he won the state. Jerry Kilgore lost Fairfax by 15 more points than George Bush.
How do you see an Obama-McCain battle playing out in Fairfax? What issues do they stress? What issues do they hope don't come up so much to mine this treasure trove of votes?
Right. Obviously, one thing is that the Washington Post is our hometown newspaper, so these candidates are a well-known quantity. So brand's going to be a big issue. Tom Davis talks a lot about the Republicans' brand, how they say if it was a dog food, it'd be pulled off the shelves.
Great.
But moving further out from Fairfax County, Loudoun County, Prince William is becoming, those counties are becoming more important. They're obviously some of the fastest growing counties in the country, and the issues that are going to be important out there among these ex-urban independent voters is stuff like the tanking housing market, gas prices, because these folks moved out there because they get a lot of house for their buck.
Right.
So these
knowing that they might spend some time in the car is a trade-off.
Exactly, and the economy is really hurting out there. So I think Obama, if he was a smart electoral strategy, would be go out to the exurbs, campaign hard out there.
Does this raise the prospect that one of the local pols that we know, senator, governor, former governor, whatever, will end up on a ticket? Again, I guess this is a little more. Although I was going to say more true of the Democrats, but Eric Cantor's name popped up yesterday.
Eric Cantor would be that'd be an interesting prospect. I don't know why he's not running for Senate right now, but on the Democratic side, the three guys, Warner, Webb, and Kane, obviously Warner would absolutely help Obama immensely in the Commonwealth and probably could help deliver it. But he said recently that I'm not going to run on the VP ticket, so we can just take him off the table.
But how many people say no when asked, right? Isn't that always the thing?
Well, I mean, he'd really put the Democrats up the creek if he just if he left that, if he just abandoned that Senate run. But moving to the other two, Kane, as a sitting governor, he has this machine that he could really put into the field and could really deliver a lot of votes. Webb, when it comes to delivering votes, I think he's a little bit more bark and less bite. That while he does talk about the Scots Irish and he has this impressive bio, he doesn't actually have this machine. So I think Kane would be probably the best person for Obama to pick, and I think it's a good chance that he will. But even if he does, it's going to be a tough climb for Obama in Virginia.
One quick call, at least, before we go to break. Jean in Lake Ridge, you're on the air. Hi.
Hi, Bruce.
Hi.
Hi. Well, I had a comment. I believe, as long as the media is fair, we all know that sometimes it's not. It's one thing to elect, somebody as governor, but as president, there's a lot of military in the state of Virginia. I don't see it going Obama. To give you an example of fairness, they sort of got on McCain for not knowing the difference between Shia and the Sunnis. But when Obama said that, in one speech that there was 57 states, very little was heard about it. When he was at the Nissan Pavilion, he went back to, he said he's met thousands of people in the 48 states and 2 territories that he's visited. Which is it? But you don't hear anything about that. But had John McCain said it, it still would have been plain. So let's be fair.
Right.
And that way it'll be a fair election.
Everyone who talks for a living makes mistakes. There's just no question about that. I do it. Everyone does it. Your mouth gets going and the brain, the mouth can't keep up with the brain, or vice versa. There, I'm doing it now. But when a guy's a little older, some people will see age, and others will say, no, that's just the universal slip-ups we all do.
Sure. But I think an interesting aspect of that is both of these candidates really have joked that their base is the media. That's one of McCain's oldest jokes, and obviously Obama's very popular in the media world. So I think we'll see what happens. But
and that reminds me of Bush's old joke when he went to the VIP fundraiser and it was all black tie. He says, "Oh, look, here's my base, the haves and the have-mores."
Exactly.
Patrick Ottenhoff is an online strategist for new media strategies here in Arlington. Thanks very much for coming in.
Thanks.
By the way, his article is in an op-ed that he wrote is at Politico.com, so you can check it out if you're interested in this topic. We'll have you back, and we enjoyed it. Thanks.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having me, Bruce.
We'll come back with more news talk right after this.